Another feature of the ego is that it judges and compares. This seems to be one of the ego's main jobs, as this tendency is so prevalent. Have you noticed how instantly the egoic mind comes up with a judgment or comparison, often based on very little knowledge about someone or something? Many of our stories are made up of such judgments and comparisons. We broke up because he wasn't good enough for me, instead of just, we broke up. Notice how most of the ego's judgments, comparisons, and stories make you feel bad. And the ones that make you feel good are often at the expense of others, where you assume that you're better than someone else. Much of the commentary that runs through our mind is of this nature. Judgments make the ego feel safer because they give the ego a sense of knowing something, even if the judgment is incorrect. The ego would rather form an immediate and incorrect judgment than have none at all, because the ego doesn't like not knowing. This distaste for not knowing drives the ego to draw conclusions and form opinions about something with very little knowledge about it. Notice how quickly your mind comes up with a judgment. The beauty is that, in noticing this, you're no longer at the mercy of that judgment. I say mercy because judgments don't feel good. They contract us, and they're rarely functional. Judgments are a way the ego pretends to know something and attempts to be on top or on the bottom if the ego is trying to uphold a negative self-image. Judgments aren't what they're cracked up to be. They don't actually come from a place of wisdom and discrimination, but from the egoic mind, which is not wise, only conditioned. The egoic mind is conditioned with a lot of lies, half-truths, and prejudices, which makes what it says of questionable value. Wisdom, on the other hand, comes from our true self, and discrimination comes from our intellect. The egoic mind is neither our true self nor our intellect. The ego's comparisons aren't valuable either. Like judgments, comparisons serve the ego's desire to be one up or one down. Comparisons don't serve us or life. What purpose does comparing yourself to others serve when we're all so unique? If apples can't be compared to oranges, then one person certainly can't be compared to another. Someone might be better at doing something than someone else, but that doesn't make that person better or worse than someone else, which is the implication when we compare someone to another. The mind's tendency to compare ourselves with others isn't useful. The way you can know this is by how you feel when you do this. It contracts you. The mind's comparisons are harmful and limiting to us and to our relationships. Once you see this, you can be free of doing this. Throwing out your ego's comparisons doesn't mean you won't be discriminating in picking fruit or choosing a new car or a partner. Discrimination is a function of our intellect, not our egoic mind. We don't have to identify with, that is, believe and agree with, the judgments and comparisons that run through our mind. Thinking such thoughts is just what the mind does. These thoughts aren't unique to you, they aren't wise, and they don't serve you or anyone else. Given this, judging ourselves for judging also doesn't serve. That's just more ego doing what it does. To be free of the stress caused by judgments, all you need to do is 1. Notice and identify any judgments that are running through your mind, including any judgments about having judgments. 2. Accept those judgments as part of the human condition. And 3. Move your attention elsewhere, onto your real experience in the here and now.